Hello, my name is Dorothy Kazombomwale. I'm a young ambassador for the International Union of Geological Sciences, and today I'm going to be interviewing Dr. Silvia Papaloni for the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. So, Dr. Papaloni, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself and the work that you do?
First of all, many thanks for the invitation. What about me? I was born in Rome, in Italy, and I'm a geologist. And since 1999, I've been working as a researcher at the Italian Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology. Before the degree and the PhD in geological sciences, I have a background in music and in classical studies. Since I was a child, I have always been curious about natural phenomena, earth dynamics, and processes. I was fascinated by the power of earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, floods. I remember I used to listen for hours, astonished, to my grandfather telling me stories about the last eruption of Vesuvius volcano. I remember perfectly the fear and the wonder I was feeling while he talked to me, the sense of impotence and precariousness that in my imagination the population must have felt. I wanted to understand where the strength of those natural processes came from. Well, my love for geology and the choice to study earth sciences come from here. A choice that has consolidated over time, enriched with my desire to contribute with my knowledge to the defense of people's lives and to the protection of the vulnerability of my country, Italy, a young and very fragile land in geological terms. And so I gradually oriented my career towards the study of geological hazards. And this sense of service to society that I believe is the basis of our profession still represents the main motivation in my work today. My current scientific activity concerns the ethical, social, and cultural aspects of earth sciences. I'm involved in the base research on geoethics, focusing on ethical implications of geoscience knowledge, research, and practice, and on key concepts for society, such as sustainability, prevention, geoeducation, science, and risk communication. Over time, I have learned that science is a valuable tool in our hands, and as geoscientists, we have the responsibility to use scientific knowledge with intelligence and wisdom. Because our knowledge is not neutral. Geoscientists are not neutral when they make decisions on the territory. We should be more aware of this.
And what do you think is the importance of geoscience in our society?
I strongly believe that geosciences are of utmost importance and a great resource for society. This is increasingly evident today. There are disciplines that, for their intrinsic nature, have evident, obvious ethical and social implications. I'm thinking, for example, of biology and medicine. But the same goes for geosciences, since they deal with the greatest global environmental challenges on the planet. And geoscientists cannot ignore these aspects. Our work on the territory, our scientific results may have a great influence on the lives of people, on local and national economy, suggesting where and how to place a big infrastructure can heavily influence the future development of an area. Our technical decisions are able of moving lots of money, but I wonder if we are aware of this great responsibility. I'm convinced that those who possess scientific knowledge that can and should contribute to the well-being of people and the environment, as geoscientists clearly possess, they have the ethical obligation to put their knowledge at the service of society. My research on geoethics started from here, because geoethics calls upon geoscientists to an individual ethical conduct, characterized by the awareness of being also social actors, of possessing a scientific knowledge that can be put at the service of society and employed for a renewed interaction between humans and the Earth system. With this aim, in 2012, I co-founded the International Association for Promoting Geoethics to provide a scientific and multidisciplinary platform for widening the discussion and creating awareness about the social role geoscientists can play in society. And in 2014, along with other colleagues, we launched the Geoethical Promise, addressed to early career geoscientists, modeled after the Hippocratic Oath of Medicine, in order to encourage young people to be responsible towards society and the environment, to be qualified and to assure competence in conducting their future profession, to act with intellectual honesty towards colleagues, to assure scientific accuracy and respect for Earth processes.
What type of opportunities would you say are there for female geoscientists?
Nowadays, the opportunities to work in the field of geosciences are many, because the global problems concerning the Earth and the human relationship with it are increasingly urgent. This is true for women as well as for men. But talking only about women geoscientists, I believe that our greatest opportunity is to be able to cooperate with other women, to overcome some possible stupid rivalries, which ultimately originate from frustration and devaluation of ourselves, and to benefit from the great strength and efficiency that women have when they decide to join their forces and intelligences. The opportunity to share some specific characteristics that maybe for cultural reasons, I believe that are usually well developed in women, such as common sense, concreteness, accuracy in work, and the ability to well perform multiple tasks simultaneously.
What sort of challenges do you think that female geoscientists face?
Well, in every field of work, there are difficult problems that women often have to face in their career. Unfortunately, more than men, they are victims of sexual and psychological harassment, discriminations or discredit, and retaliation. But in my opinion, in addition to those common obstacles to the career, in geosciences, there are further elements that can slow or even stop the career of a woman. For example, some may consider a woman weaker than a man, weaker in a physical sense, or in some case not willing to work in the field, or to travel, or to work away from the home for a long time. These are all prejudices, cultural bias, frequent in the past as well as today. But obviously, these are conditions that change from country to country. Concerning Western countries, I'm inclined to believe that a large part of difficulties for a woman could originate from herself, for being not confident in her capabilities. While is it up to us to believe in who we are and what we want to achieve? Otherwise, in other countries where the woman conditions are more difficult and then in some cases terrible, Even there, despite the seriousness of their conditions, we learn incredible stories of redemption and success, really great examples of strength and courage. And I think that women living in conditions that are more fortunate should help more women who live in highly discriminatory contexts. In my personal case, fortunately, my family always left me quite free in my choices, encouraged and supported me in training course. Similarly, I did not meet with the big obstacles in the academic world, even if machismo can hide even in the most open and progressive workplaces.
And lastly, what type of advice would you give to young scientists or young people who aspire to be scientists?
I would especially like to address girls who aspire to become geoscientists. I believe that a girl who feels a strong push towards this type of knowledge must absolutely embrace geological studies and become a geologist without letting herself be influenced by those who, while thinking they want our good, dissuade us with the stereotypical arguments. For example, that it is a career not suitable for a girl, perhaps tiring, not compatible with childcare, and so on. Well, we must react to these arguments by making great clarity within ourselves, having full confidence in our abilities, because often we build by ourselves the greatest obstacles in starting a working career. Every time we exclude a possible path, considering it too difficult for us. And finally, I would like to suggest to both girls and boys who like geological studies or are at the beginning of their career to responsibly wonder about the deeper sense of their work, about which values of reference we, as experts of the earth, have to ground our activities. These reflections, in my opinion, can greatly motivate and make responsible our choices. There are basilar values such as competence, collaborative attitude, reliability, transparency, impartiality, capable of allowing scientists to develop good science. And making good science is the essential prerequisite in geoscience research and practice. Each of our choices has political, social, and economic implications. And this is why working in geosciences needs credible people who believe in their ideals, but capable of combining them with concreteness.